Hi everyone, welcome back to Gina Creates. Today I'm going to show you how to make this Christmas money sleeve holder. You could download the free SVG file at ginacreates.com. Once you have it downloaded, you can find it in your downloads folder, and it'll be a zip file, so you're going to have to right click and hit extract all so you can unzip the folder. And inside you'll find all the files along with my free license. To open the SVG, you first need to open up Design Space. Click Upload and find the Downloads folder and hit the SVG file. The SVG file might be displayed as a HTML doc or with an internet icon. You can upload that file and add it to your canvas. Next, we'll just need to make sure that the SVG uploaded the correct size. The size of this SVG should be 7.8 in width. Once it's the correct size, we can now right-click to ungroup the SVG. And now you'll be able to select each layer. This bottom back piece has a cut slit in it that is just a line, so we'll need to attach that to the bottom shape. So you can either select the group or you can select both layers and then just hit attach. And now our cut slit will stay on top of our back piece. As for the top layer, it has two score lines that are right next to each other. We need to change them from basic cut lines to score lines. So select it in your layers panel, come up to operation and hit score. And then you will need to attach it to the bottom layer underneath. Next, you can select each of these layers and change the colors if you like. They are just sitting on top of my money sleeve, just to give it a little bit more character and colors. I have them all separated. And I do this so in case you want to do different colors, or you can just weld the whole layers together. So like for the text, you would select the word Christmas and the word Merry, and then you would weld. If you want it to be all one color. So if you're going to cut this out of cardstock or vinyl and layer it on, it's up to you what material you want to use and how you want to layer it. For this money sleeve, I'm going to use vinyl because I want it to have a smooth surface. But you can also cut out these pieces with cardstock and just glue them on, or even use foam tape if you want it to have like popping out a little bit. It's up to you. And then of course you could change the colors of the money sleeve as well to your liking. But I'm just going to go back and leave it how I have it. And then once you have it ready, you can hit make it. And in this video, I forgot a step. I didn't attach my score lines to my bottom piece. So just make sure you do that so you won't have your score lines end up on a different mat. So now we're ready to click make it, and it will send all our pieces to their appropriate color mat. And depending on your material, you're going to want to make sure you cut on the appropriate setting for your material. I'm going to use vinyl. So regular permanent vinyl, you can use vinyl plus, or if you have like a specialty vinyl like foil or chrome, you can choose custom and then select it on your screen. And then for the cardstock, we're just going to cut on cardstock plus. And for this project, I'm just going to use one sheet of green cardstock. It's 65 pounds in weight. And then my foil red and gold vinyl. I'm going to lay my vinyl down first using some painter's tape to hold it in place. And then load it into your Cricut to cut your vinyl. Once it's done cutting, you can take it off the mat and trim off your excess vinyl. And I just love working with foil vinyl because it is so easy to weed off when you have it cut on the appropriate setting. I used a custom setting under vinyl, and then I selected foil adhesive. When we're done cutting our vinyl pieces, we can now cut out our cardstock. And I'm just going to lay the tape over to hold the cardstock in place. I'm going to move my dial to cardstock plus. And then I'm going to load in the scoring stylus in the A clamp. So you just flip it open and drop it in until you hear it click, and then close the clamp. and then you'll be ready to cut your cardstock. If you don't have a scoring stylus, you can delete those lines that are in Design Space, and you could just score it by hand using a ruler and a sharp edge. Once it's done cutting, you can remove your excess cardstock first, and you could bend back your mat so you don't curl your cardstock. And then you could just use your fingers to get out all the tiny cardstock pieces that might have stuck to your paper. And they should be fairly easy to pop out. On the back piece, all these tabs will get folded down because this is where you're going to apply the glue or adhesive. And then on the front part, we are going to fold down this top tab because that will be your closing tab for your money. Next, we're going to layer on our vinyl, and I'm going to use contact transfer tape. And I like using this transfer tape because it's not super sticky and it won't rip your cardstock. So we're just going to apply the Christmas word first. So I'm just going to peel back the backing and get that vinyl onto the transfer tape. And then to apply it to my cardstock, I am going to use a small sheet of parchment paper because if I try to stick it freehand, I could mess up. So I'm just using this parchment paper and I'm just going to cover most of it and line it up. And then the part that is not covered, I am going to press down where the C is and then remove it and then lay it back down. And this will have it lined up where you had it. So you're gently going to pull back the transfer tape, being careful you don't rip your cardstock. And then we are going to apply the Mary. And I'm going to do the same thing using parchment paper to protect it. Make sure I have it lined up and then press down. And that will overlap on top of the Christmas word. And then you can finish up by adding your holly design. And I don't really use the parchment paper for this just because it's not that long. And I could kind of eyeball it and line it up. But the parchment paper really helps, so you can use it as well. So just make sure you're gentle when ripping off the transfer tape. And now we could apply the top to the backing. So I'm just going to use this tape runner and apply it to my tabs. And then I am going to line it up. You can also use craft glue. And then make sure that your backing is facing the correct way. So the part with the half cut circle should be on the same side with your front part with the tab. Because when you flip it over, you will have that little circle to push under and it'll stay closed. Then you can add your money and it's ready to give away as a Christmas gift. So I had many requests for a Christmas themed money sleeve. So I hope you guys like it. And don't forget to visit Gina C Creates for the free SVG under my Forever Faith files. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.